All right, today we're going deep. We're not talking about some super sophisticated nation-state level hack. No, we're looking at something much more common, an automated system that takes your own memory, your everyday habits, and turns them into the perfect weapon against you. Just let that sink in for a second. The very thing you do to make your life just a little bit easier, those little memory shortcuts you use for dozens of online accounts, well, those are the exact tools criminals use as a master key. In this world of automated digital attacks, your attempts to be clever is precisely what lets them into your bank account. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll see how your memory becomes their key. Then we'll uncover this thing called the Domino Vulnerability trap. We'll dissect the anatomy of an automated heist, step by step. After that, we'll get into the psychology of why this works so well. And then, the important part, building your defense protocol. We'll wrap it all up with a simple, powerful rule. One account, one secret. Okay, let's kick off our investigation by looking at this central conflict here, the real paradox of convenience. It's simple. The easier a password is for you to remember, the fundamentally easier it is for a machine to guess. Now, this is really the whole game right here. On the left, you've got your memory shortcut. That's how you see it, right? It feels smart, efficient. But on the right, that's how an attacker sees it, a skeleton key. See, they aren't sitting there guessing fluffy 1, 2, 3. They're running automated programs that know you probably added an exclamation point at the end or capitalized the first letter. That little unique pattern you thought made it secure? That is exactly what a machine is programmed to look for to predict your next move and unlock everything. And that brings us to the professional weaponized version of this, the Aggregation and Replay System. It's basically an industrial-scale machine that's built to harvest your predictable habits. It sucks up leaked passwords from all over the internet, aggregates them, and then just replays them against high-value targets. You know, like your bank or your main email. You gotta understand, this isn't a hack. It's a replay of your own behavior, just turned against you. So let's see how this one small thing builds into something truly devastating. Because this isn't about losing one account. It's about how one tiny leak can trigger a chain reaction that leads to the total loss of your digital life. So here's how the Domino vulnerability works. You know, attackers almost never breach a big bank directly. It's too hard. Instead, they hit a softer target, some old forum you signed up for, maybe a random retail site where you use the same password. They steal that login, knowing there's a good chance you've reused it, and they use that one key to start knocking over the big dominoes, one by one, until they get to the accounts that really matter. And the scale here is it's staggering. We're not talking about a few dozen attempts. There's an entire criminal industry built around this called credential stuffing. We're talking about AI-driven botnets stuffing millions of stolen password combos into login pages all over the internet, every single hour. It's a relentless, automated war of attrition. And the consequences, well, they're just devastating. Total account takeover. This isn't just about losing a little bit of money. Attackers can siphon funds in real time, emptying your accounts before you even get a security alert. They can create fake loans in your name, they're called synthetic loans, using your identity to take on debt. They steal your medical data, your professional secrets. And then there's the psychological trauma. That feeling that a stranger has been living inside your digital life, that damage lasts a long, long time. Okay, this is the core of our investigation right here. We are going to profile this digital virus, breaking down exactly how these attackers operate step by step. Let's look at the anatomy of this automated heist. The fuel for this entire criminal engine is something called ComboLists. Now, these aren't just random lists of emails. They're curated, confirmed packages of working username and password pairs that have been scraped from dozens of different data breaches. Then they're sold on the dark web, just like any other product. And this is so crucial to understand. The attacker isn't guessing. They're starting with a key they already know works somewhere. The whole thing unfolds in these very distinct phases. Phase 1, infiltration and exfiltration. Hackers breach a low-security website and just steal the data. Phase 2 is what they call the dark web liquidity hook. This is where that stolen data is packaged up and sold. It's sorted into these confirmed combo lists, basically creating a verified hit list. Phase 3 is the automated replay. This is where the botnets take your login and password and just try it everywhere, at a massive scale, your bank, your email, your crypto. Once they get a hit, it's on to Phase 4, ATO lockdown. ATO is for account takeover. This is where they lock you out. Phase 5 is the silent extraction. They quietly drain your funds, copy your data, and then finally phase 6, the social pivot exit. They use your compromised accounts to start attacking your friends, your family, your coworkers. Let's just focus on that 4th step for a second, the ATO lockdown, because it's just terrifyingly clever. Once an attacker is inside your main email, they don't just change your password. They go into your settings and create inbox rules. Rules that automatically find and delete any security warnings from your bank or other services. It creates this digital vacuum. You're made digitally blind. You have no idea the theft is even happening until it's way, way too late.
So, we've seen how the attack works, but now we have to talk about why it's so incredibly effective. Because this system, it isn't really designed to hack your computer. It's designed to hack your brain.
This right here perfectly captures the internal battle we all face. Our brains are hardwired for what psychologists call cognitive ease. We instinctively try to reduce friction and use familiar patterns. It's an old survival trait. But digital safety demands the exact opposite: security friction. It needs us to increase friction by using unique, complex, hard-to-remember keys for absolutely everything. And this system is built to exploit that fundamental mismatch. And this leads directly to something called security fatigue. You know the feeling. We've all been there. It's that mental exhaustion when you're asked to create another unique password with an uppercase letter, a number, and a special character for some website you're only going to use once. That fatigue, it's a completely predictable human response. And it makes us fall back on those insecure, easy habits. The entire aggregation and replay system is designed to weaponize that exact moment of exhaustion. So just remember this. The attacker isn't trying to outsmart your logical brain. They're not trying to bypass some complex firewall. They are hacking your memory drive, your brain's built-in desire for simplicity and organization. They're turning your own need for cognitive ease into the very tool that takes your security apart. Okay, we have defined a threat. Now it's time for the solution. We're moving into your digital defense protocol. And this isn't just a list of tips. This is a strategic plan for building digital walls this system simply cannot break through. This is the question we have to answer, right? How in the world do you fight an automated industrial-scale machine that is specifically designed to exploit your very human brain? Well, the answer is you don't fight it with your memory. You fight it with a better system.
The core defensive strategy here is called credential siloing. Think about it like this. If a burglar gets a key to your front door, you definitely don't want that same key to also open your car, your safe deposit box, and your office. Siloing just means using a completely unique, randomly generated password for every single account. It breaks the chain. It makes sure that one breach from a silly website can never, ever become a domino event.
So here are the 3 essential layers of your defense. First up, you need a password manager. Its only job is to create and store unique, random keys for every single site. Your action here is to install one and start migrating all your old passwords. I know it sounds like a project, but it is the absolute foundation of your defense. Second, enable app-based multi-factor authentication everywhere you possibly can. This creates a digital air gap. It requires a second time-sensitive code from an app on your phone. And by the way, this is way better than a text message code because text can be intercepted. An app on your physical device is much, much more secure. And third, you have to do some credential triage. Use a free service like Have I Been Pawned to see which of your logins are already out there for sale so you know which ones to change first. And look, if you think you've been breached, you need an emergency script. Memorize this order. Step 1, before you do anything else, freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus. This immediately stops the financial damage, like those synthetic loans. Then step 2, you start siloing your passwords with your manager, starting with your primary email. After that, you can audit all your accounts, but the credit freeze is first, always.
Okay, let's bring this all home. After this whole forensic analysis, it's time to deliver the final verdict on how to stay safe.
This is it. This is the fundamental takeaway from everything we've talked about today. The core strategic principle is that ease is the enemy of security. Any single time you choose a password because it's easy to remember, you are actively choosing to make yourself less secure. You just can't have both. So this is the mindset you have to adopt. This is your new mantra: one account, one secret. The second you use a password twice, you've connected 2 different doors with the same key, and you've already lost the fight against the machines that are looking for exactly that connection. So let's close with a final recap. The scam is account takeover, but it's an automated system, not a one-off event. The system works by exploiting our psychology, our familiarity bias, and our security fatigue. The only truly effective defense is unique credential siloing, using a password manager and app-based MFA. And the single most important lesson, in this fight, your memory is not your asset, it's your biggest liability.